New buff, new gear set, new giant pile of champions from a new faction. What is happening today? I'm so excited to share it with you guys. Cannot wait. What is up, guys? MtgJedi here. We are hyped today. We're talking about everything all in one video. That's probably all the time I have in my busy schedule, so we'll get another video out to you tomorrow. But just one today. I'm not spamming you. We're giving you everything that you need to know in one video. So thank you for choosing me for this information. And boy, has it been difficult to keep this to myself, okay? We are on the test server, MtgJedi Test, and we are going to take a look at all of the new things. I would love to start by talking about the new gear set, so I'm going to get that set up right now. First of all, let me say happy Halloween to you all. I will be having my subathon Super October stream on Saturday for like 8 to 10 hours, maybe 12. We'll see how it's going. All day Saturday. Come on out to twitch.tv/MtgJedi and hang out. I have lots of prizes. I have lots of rewards. I have lots of fun stuff planned. Come on out and hang out. Now, when I look and see all of these things, it's just like Polarium watched my video at the beginning of the year and they just started checking off all of the things that I requested for this year, because included in them was a new defense-based gear set and a new faction, okay? I think we should get a new faction this year and next year. That would be my guess and my request. If they want to add a bunch of new champions, stop adding them to other factions, add them to new factions, okay? So this new gear set here is the defense set combined with Stalwart, okay? Stalwart is 30% and defense is 15%. As you can see, with the new Defiant set, it's defense plus 10% and minus 15% from enemy AoE attacks. So it's not as good as either of them, but together, I think it's amazing. I think this is going to be one of the best new sets we've added to the game. I think this is great for Hydra. I think this is great for Arena. I think this set is amazingly good. Super, super good. Great job, Polarium. This is a two-piece set. 2 pieces. So that means you can get your minus 30 if you want by putting 4 pieces on here. Like, I cannot believe that, to be honest. And I think the reason why is because we don't see the other gear set. Like, we don't see these 2 gear sets used hardly at all. The defense set and the Stalwart set, statistically, I bet are very low. Now, I know some people have switched over to using Stalwart and Hydra, but man, I think that this is great. And this should be the next set for the Forge Pass. We had two sets of bolster, I think. Where is even bolster on here? That's weird. Oh, it's not on there. Wait, why is this in here? I'm a little confused, okay? Where's bolster? It must be a test server thing. Okay, oh well, I'm not going to get too caught up in it, but anyway, bolster should be there, right? So, this is going to be our next Forge Pass, is Defiant. Also, Instinct is getting a buff. I literally can't believe that. Speed 12 ignores 20% of defense. So now it's only 5% less than Savage. Instinct is going to be amazing. Instinct is going to be amazing. I still think Savage is probably better and lethal is probably still best, but instinct is now viable. Great job, Plarium. Great job, Plarium. I'm not exactly sure when the Forge Pass is going to be live in-game, but it occurs to me that I am kind of blocking that gear set information, so let me just flip over here for a quick second, and then I'll put myself right back with the defense 10% and minus 15%, and then you can see the 2 in parentheses there for the 2-piece set. So luckily I caught that. Otherwise, you guys would be screaming at me in the comments below. Now, all of the rest of the stuff is going to be live this week, guys. It's going to be live this week. Now, there are a giant pile of new champions, and I'm going to briefly go over all of them. I actually have no idea where some of them are going to come into the game. I don't know how we're supposed to get these champions. And I also don't know which champions are going to be in the fusion. And I don't believe that we have that information. I mean, if some other content creator says we have that information, let me know, because there's like 473 posts. But I looked through all of them, and I didn't see that information yet. I think that the fusion is starting on Friday, and so I don't think we're going to have that information until Friday, is basically what I'm saying. But I think that we can make some guesses. I think we can make some guesses. So let's take a look at all the new champions, and I am very excited about this, guys. This is going to be crazy. Okay, the first new champion is Lady Annabelle, and she's actually busting out of the Bannerlords faction. I had to, guys. I had to. She's literally busting out. I'm a little uncomfortable with this. I'm sure some of you won't mind, and that's fine, but this makes me uncomfortable a little bit. Going a little too far here, Plarium, I think. But anyway, let's look at her kit. She has an A1. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Heals this champion 3% of their max HP. She's a support champion, and her base HP is not bad. Like, for an epic champion especially, that's decent. A2 is AoE Leech, decrease speed. Oh, I guess with targets less than 50% turn meter. That's going to be tricky. Okay. A3 is a HP swap. I mean, let me just read it. If this champion's HP is equal to or higher than the target's after the swap, places a revive on death on the target ally for 2 turns. If this champion's HP is lower, then places a revive on... Oh, it's just who the revive on death gets placed on. Okay, just place it on both of them. And then also places an increased speed buff on all allies. Then her A3 heals this champion by 50% of their max HP whenever an ally or enemy dies. She's kind of like Mother Sibel. So if you didn't get Mother Sibel, could be a useful champion for Hydra. Like, she's going to heal herself. AoE Leech, decrease speed. Not reliable decrease speed, but something. And then, I don't know. We'll have to test this to see how well it works. But I think it might work okay. It might work okay. I think she's alright. I would assume that this is the epic for the fusion, and I don't have any clue what the rare will be. Next up is Morrigaine. I want to say Moigraine, but it's not that. It's Morrigaine. So anyway, she looks like she's floating underwater, which is super cool. She's like, oh, I forget. There's a word for like underwater spirity witch kind of a chick. Anyway, she looks super cool, but this is the fusion, right? She has the A1 decreased speed, which has a reasonable chance of hitting. A2, 100% chance steal all buffs from target enemy, and then 100% chance to place true fear on all enemies and decrease accuracy if it's a boss. I think that's a cool ability. I don't know if it's actually good, but it's cool. And then The A3 is why they're comparing her to Lysandra, right? So she's going to have 100% to decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 20%, fills the turn meter of all allies by 20%, and places increased speed 100%. Like, if you're having trouble with Dark Fae, or you want a better Dark Fae team, I think she's going to be great for that boss. Start of each turn places a heal reduction on the enemy with the lowest HP. This debuff cannot be removed, transferred, spread, or have its duration increased or decreased. I mean, okay, we're not going to do that. So that's fine. Heal reduction on the enemy with the lowest HP could actually be helpful in Arena, to be honest. Like, there's some healing that happens in Arena. And then she has a speed in all battles aura by 19%. Her base speed is 112. And her other base stats are great. So I honestly think that this is a really great champion for a ton of players. I don't know if I need her on my account, but like, I like doing fusions. And in addition to that, I feel like I could find a use for her in a lot of situations. So definitely worth going for. There's my new Fortis. We have no idea when he's getting a buff, but he is getting a buff, so hopefully he will be good after his buff. Next up is a new Shadowkin legendary, and honestly, I'm confused and amazed all at the same time. This might be my new favorite champion, and I need him so badly. He's a legendary defense-based champion, so, like, I assume they're just adding him to the pool, which I don't understand why they keep doing this. Like, okay, like, it's great adding new champions to the game, but come up with a different way than just adding them to the pool, because, like, nobody's gonna get this guy. They're gonna just put him on a 10x. I mean, if they make this guy the next guaranteed champion, you should definitely go for him. Look how freaking cool he looks. He reminds me of Skeletor from He-Man. And I think that's super cool. My kids, for Christmas last year, they got me He-Man pop figures, and they're pretty amazing, I must say. So anyway, he has an A1 HP burn. I didn't even know about that because I was so distracted by the rest of the kit. And it's like a reasonable chance to place it. Then he has an A2 decrease defense, decrease attack as long as they have Hex. 100% on both. Decrease defense, decrease attack, 100% on both as long as they have Hex. I wish it didn't say as long as they have Hex, but he does have a Hex in his kit, and Mithrala exists now as an actually good Hex champion. So we got options. And then an A3, he has a double hitter AoE, and the first hit removes all the buffs, and the second hit places Hex. I love everything about that. Everything about that. And then his passive, oh, so good. Whenever an ally attacks an enemy under Hex, he has a 50% chance to team up and join the ally's attack. And then, and then he has a 50% chance of placing the HP burn on his A1. This is going to be an amazing Hydra champion. Amazing. I think this guy's going to be great for all content. Defense in all battles aura? If there wasn't the next part, guys, I would just be like, this is the best champion. But he's not even the best. There are better ones in the brand new faction. Guys, I'm so pumped about the brand new faction. And Plarium, please. We need centaurs. We need treants. We need all kinds of earth elementals. We need all of the things. We need satyrs. There's so many cool things you can do in this faction. Please do all of them. All of them. As of right now, they're wood elves. Okay, they're wood elves, but they are also cool. We're just going to go in order. We're going to start with the Statue of Liberty's boyfriend. Allele. Anyway, he doesn't move. It's the Statue of Liberty's boyfriend. But he does look freaking cool. Okay, he does. He has an A1 that steals all buffs from the target the first time they attack them. So it's not going to be every time, but the first time, no buffs will be stolen. Instead, damage will be increased for each buff on the target. So, like, what an awesome A1. 100% steal all the buffs. Then if there are buffs after that, he gets a bonus on damage. That could be really, really powerful. A2, attacks one enemy, will ignore strengthen stone skin, increase defense, and ally protection. If this attack kills an enemy, fully heals this champion and places stone skin. Okay, this is an attack-based champion in our new Sylvan Watchers faction. Great name, too. Great name. Love it. I didn't really like the other versions that I saw, so I'm glad for Sylvan Watchers. Then his A3 is an AoE. Before attacking, removes increased defense and puts decreased defense. Removes strengthen and puts weaken. Places block buffs on enemies not under increased defense or strengthen before attacking. So now we have a void champion who 100% places block buffs. That's so needed, okay? That makes him going to be great for Hydra. Admittedly, he's an attack-based champion, and he's going to be kind of squishy, but if you can keep him alive, I think that's great. Especially for hard, where you're looking for just lots of damage these days, I think that's great. And then we have, like, some single target stuff, like the buff increase. Like, is it just 10% once or multiple times? I guess it would probably be just 10% for each buff each time. Okay, that makes sense. And then his passive is really cool too. I forgot about his passive protecting himself. Increases his HP by 2,000 and his defense by 100 for each 1,000 attack they have. So the higher you build his attack, the higher his other stats become. And he gets a turn meter buff whenever he receives a buff. Plus, he has a crit rate in all battles aura. Not sure if that's needed, but this guy is great. Not the best one in this faction, but great. Speaking of the best one in the faction, it is also not this guy, but this guy's cool as well. This is an elf in wood elf armor, and that's pretty cool. We got a dryad, I think, on the shield. So let's get a dryad in the game. A1 transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target. Just always. It just transfers every single one. Every turn. That's amazing. And he heals himself by 5% of his max HP for each debuff transferred. As a defense-based champion, healing is more powerful than on a lot of other champions because they take less damage, so when you heal, you're giving yourself a lot. A2, AoE decrease attack, and then steals all continuous heal buffs. I don't really get this. It's fine, but just like I don't get it. Now we have the new buff, Taunt, okay? I'm gonna have to go read the Taunt buff because it is weird, but it's kind of like Provoke, but it's also kind of like Protect. So anyway, I'm gonna find that and then I'm gonna read that to you. Okay, here's what Polarium said to us about Taunt. If a champion's under taunt, enemies can only target that champion, so it will be helpful in Arena. If there are several champions under a taunt buff on the same team, enemies can target any of the taunting champions. So you can't break the battle, basically. When using an AoE attack, only the champion under taunt can be targeted, but the allies will still take damage. So, like, if it's like Herndeg where you target the champion and then it does the AoE, it will have to target the taunted champion. But I don't know if that's going to be good enough because you're still going to be able to do your AoEs. The Provoke debuff has priority over Taunt, So if you're provoked, you'll attack the provoked champion, not the taunted. I like the idea of this. Whether it's great or not, I don't know. We need to test it, but I do like the idea of it. I'm not sure who would be best to put the taunt on, but if they get a taunt, then we could go use the freeze set. Check out that video if you haven't seen it. And then he has one last passive here. Whenever an ally loses 10% or more of his max HP from a single hit, places a shield buff on that ally for 2 turns equal to 10%. So I feel like this guy, Green Warden, could be part of some Go Second teams. He only places these buffs on himself, but his passive makes up for the fact that this is not an attack. So, I mean, this guy kind of reminds me of the new dwarf. A lot of you guys got Goffred, and his passive, like, protects the ally from dying, right? So, like, that's kind of the same thing as Green Warden. I don't know if it's going to prevent them from dying. I don't think it's going to prevent them from dying. So if they don't die, so if you have a Go Second team that has like HP and defense champions on it, or they have a way to not die, like a Swift Parry set, or some kind of built-in ability like Leorius maybe. I don't know. I think he has potential, but he might not work out. Definitely worth testing. Next up is my favorite of the new champions, and that's King Galkabar. King Galkabar. He just looks like a human dude, but I'm guessing he's an elf under there. But anyway, he has an A1, plays the shield buff for 2 turns on the ally with the lowest HP, and it goes off of the ally's HP. That's kind of unfortunate. But AoE, 100% chance of removing all buffs, places a 5% poison for 2 turns on each enemy for each buff removed. Also, 100% chance of placing block buffs. Again, we need more block buffs champions. I like the remove all buffs, place block buffs combo, because a lot of times with Ugo and Hydra, if you get a random buff stolen and then spread, like, you can't place the block buffs. Same thing with the Head of Wrath. So I love that combination. Removes all debuffs from all allies and places a 15% continuous heal buff for 1 turn on each ally for every debuff removed. So this ability is one of those ones that I love. This is a full cleanse, but it's similar to that barbarian that we had. What's his name? Anyway, also places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns, 25% of his max HP. And guys, his max HP is kind of low, I'll be honest. But you can build it up really high. It's a crazy amazing kit. Whenever an enemy under poison attacks an ally under shield, it instantly activates the poison on that enemy and the continuous heal. So, guys, what an amazing champion here. The king of the Sylvan Watchers should be great. Okay, let's quicken this up. Elva Autumnborn, legendary support champion. She has a continuous heal on the ally with the lowest HP on her A1. Again, for AoE buff removal, places block buffs and increased speed on block debuffs, excuse me, and increased speed. So you remove all the debuffs from all allies, full cleanse, and then put block debuffs and increased speed. That is great. Is her base speed really high? 110. And then revive. I don't really like this revive, but it is a single target. They get 50% turn meter, 40% HP, and then they get increased defense, increased attack. So a lot of times what happens is you revive them and then they die again. But heals each ally by 10% of their max HP at the start of their turn, which is very good. Perfect Veil on the ally with the lowest HP at the end of this champion's turn. So if you revive them, probably they're going to get the Perfect Veil, but it's not going to be every time. Okay, then we have the epics, and some of the epics are actually good. White Dryad Nia, A1, AoE, decrease speed. Not 100%, but that's good, okay? She's a defense-based champion epic, very usable in Hydra. Remove all debuffs from, it's a full cleanse for a target ally, and then heals them. And then if the target of this skill is not this champion, decreases the cooldown of all the target skills by 2 turns. Like, that's great. A3, ally protection, except this champion, and then strengthen on all allies. Ally protection strengthen is very good. Whenever this champion is healed, heals each ally except this champion by 20% of that heal. And that's an epic. Like, that's better than some legendaries, guys. Okay? And I want to just put in here, the faction crypt is not close to being added to the game. The faction missions are not going to come in for the Sylvan Watchers for a while, so don't worry about that. Mistrider Dithy? I don't know. I'm going to have to work on that one. A1, 50% chance to remove a random buff from the target, 10% chance of granting this champion an extra turn. This guy's going to cycle through his turns. Okay. AoE, 100% chance with books of placing decreased defense, grants an extra turn if the decreased defense is placed on all enemies. A3, increase attack, increase accuracy, grants an extra turn. So he's going to do that, get an extra turn, do that, get an extra turn, and then A1. He's going to do all 3 of his abilities in the same turn. I don't think that exists in the game anywhere. Got to keep an eye on that guy. Also, AoE decreased defense in the new faction. That's going to be great for faction war. Dundan the Runic. I love this guy. He's like an earth elemental powered by death. He's got skulls in his chest that are bringing him to life. This guy is super cool. I need him on my account immediately, please. Please help him be a fusion epic. A1, 50% chance to remove a random debuff from all allies. That's interesting. AoE shield, 50% chance of this, or 15% of this champion's max HP, and increases the duration of all buffs on all allies by 1 turn. Again, not that high of a base HP for a giant chunk, but I would have loved to see him be like 21k HP, 22. I don't know, player. Come on. And then A3, Taunt, strengthen, counterattack, with a defense in all battles aura. I'm confused about the aura, honestly, but I think the champion's good. Then we have Cormac the High Peak, and this guy looks kind of like a sand warrior, but he looks cool. A1, decrease speed. A2, before attacking, places decreased defense. Okay, it's only single target. And then increase accuracy, increase crit rate, grants an extra turn. It's okay. It's alright. It's not great. Ruella, which kind of looks kind of basic. I mean, she's a cutie. That's fine, but like, just kind of basic. At least she's covered, I guess. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has an 80% chance of stealing 5% of the target's turn meter. So you're going to steal 15% of their turn meter on the A1. That's not bad. And she's stealing it, so that's going to make her go faster. Base speed 112. What is going on? And then another triple hitter. She can place decreased defense, weaken, and decrease speed. So I could immediately see her being used in Fire Knight, especially in progression, but maybe even later on. Then she's got a turn meter boost and increased crit rate on a 3-turn cooldown. So this is on a 4-turn cooldown, and this is on a 3-turn cooldown. But anyway, I think that this chick could be very good. So we got 2 left. We got Myceliac Priest Orn. What a cool name. He's the mushroom guy, okay? He's the mushroom priest. A1, he can place some poisons. A2, he can activate the poisons. A3, poison sensitivity and a heal. It is an AoE as well, which is interesting. Whenever a poison debuff is activated, increases this champion's HP and defense by 5% up to 25%. And he's an HP-based champion with decent base stats. His attacks are based on HP, so I feel like he could be reasonable in Clan Boss, especially early game. Now, seeing as this is the only rare, I'm guessing that this is going to be the rare for the fusion, but I don't actually know because they didn't tell us, okay? A1, very small chance to place block buffs. AoE, chance to increase the cooldown on a skill, and then perfect veil on this champion for one turn whenever they kill an enemy. I doubt we'll be doing that. So that's all of the new champions. We got a new gear set. We got a giant pile of new champions. We got a new buff. The whole new faction. What do you guys think? This is coming to the game on Friday. Why am I doing this? This is the test server. Anyway, I believe this is coming to the game on Friday. That's insane. This has been my longest video of the year, but rightly so. And if you made it to the end of the video, tell me in the comments below because you're a legend and I appreciate and respect you. I'm going to try to get some stuff done with these champions, and then we will upload some more sweet videos for you. Have a great day. You're amazing. See you in the next one.